So many games with great stories from the past couple of decades, from the beginning to the end, many of us can't get enough of the goods coming out of them. We'll fall right through the end. Until the end is approached and is all just shit crap from Jeff Daniels behind an odd grief. Don't let this give you the mindset that games are automatically terrible because the endings ruined it. These titles are still great games to play even to this day, and they should still be replayed for replay value alone, which makes up for the bad endings. I've even replayed them myself at least once, so it comes to show it's not all ruined. Please note that these titles are from my opinion and experiences alone. Yes, we know Mass Effect 3 is known to have a notoriously controversial ending hated by many, so it's not going to include in this video. I'm also giving out my reasons behind my hatefulness of said endings that people may not agree with. Just note that the lists are just my opinions. I will also list games that have actually beaten its story from beginning to end. If there's a game you're asking about in the comments, I've either not played it nor finished it. The video will have major spoilers from the games in question, so watch at your own risk. Now that we've cleared everything out of the way, allow me to present you 5 great games made with crappy endings.
Were it so easy.
I believe that L.A. Noire is arguably a very underrated game from Rockstar, let alone underappreciated overall. The game ditched the sandbox approach of the studio's more notable Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead franchises. The game itself is free roam with the sandbox mechanics of hurting anybody you want and doing anything you want. Instead, you play as an LAPD detective named Cole Phelps with focus on solving your assigned crimes. They played in an episodic manner similar to what you see in an older TV show. You even have black and white mode on the PlayStation 3. Ghost of Tsushima was not the first game to implement this. The ending, so should I say the last few cases leading to the ending, is what this is all about. So the last few cases of arson got you to play as another character, Jack Kelso. The man's an insurance agent and not even a police officer. Gameplay is the same, but focus of Cole Phelps was moved away. Because both of their investigations are connected in the last few cases, the transitions between characters were made. The very last battle in gunfire gameplay was with Jack Kelso being playable, not Cole Phelps. After finishing, they decided to kill off Cole Phelps, without much redemption given to the character except shown to be promoted back to homicide as you play as Jack Kelso. He has not made any redemption on making up with his family, and the death was very anticlimactic, unexpected, and underwhelming for an abrupt tragedy. While it was good to see some character development for Phelps in the last few cases, it is a dishonor on the character's funeral. Everybody who worked with him and openly hated him are two-faced enough to actually try to make the players believe he was a hero to them. I'm pretty mad about this ending. It doesn't stop me from wanting to go back to play the game every now and then. Hopefully a new sequel with a new setting comes in the future. Another underappreciated franchise deserving of a revival, Onimusha tells the tale of Oda Nobunaga's reign as the Demon King in the series, whereas he is a warlord of sorts in history class and actual real history. But through the first 3 games of the series, you play 3 protagonists. One is Jubei Yagyu from the second entry and only appeared in the game. The final battle was definitely an epic piece and memorable compared to the first Onimusha game in my opinion. Unfortunately, it's a lazy ending. While I call it lazy may not be agreeable by most, but the last cutscene before the credits and after defeating the final boss was, well, Jubei just running towards the camera and then the credits starts. That's literally it. I understand there's a post-credit epilogue and an Onimusha 3 announcement to go with it. Most gamers wouldn't sit through a 10-minute credits just for a dialogue-free cutscene. While it has the right sentiment, they could have kept it for before the credits and it would not have made it to my list. Now, for Halo 2, I'm treating the ending as if the game is a standalone title. The reason being is because we all know that Halo 3 is now the thing, plus everything else. However, it's a game I've played and beaten, and admittedly, as recent as a few years ago. I hopped on the Xbox train not too long ago, and I said the hell with console wars. They're all great, just enjoy gaming. But what I do agree when I played Halo 2 Anniversary was that the cliffhanger ending was just a super risky build-up of the hype, and you played, you guessed it, a game with an incomplete story. Yes, on the same level as Desolation of Smaug, Halo 2 is my favorite Halo game of the series for its story, and then it's Halo 3 as it continued the story of the second game. But imagine not having a Halo 3 or waiting a long time for it. I may not have gotten the same experience as veteran players of the series, but I feel for the OG players enough that I had to put this game on my list. Yes, I do believe that the Final Fantasy XIII games were decent enough to be considered good. Final Fantasy XIII 2 was an improvement overall in terms of gameplay and storytelling, then the ending pretty much ruined it all. Starting out to be a happy ending that otherwise got twisted the opposite direction. What's worse is that the ending ended fully as if the whole story and adventure was a waste of time. Everything back to square one. Sarah's dead, Noel hating himself, Caius is dead but still supposedly won. I was upset as I put in 100% of completion on my first playthrough with this game. And its sequel, Lightning Returns, was supposed to fix this ending, but my goodness, I couldn't finish playing that game because I despise its battle system. Almost 9 years later and I still kinda cope with this. Sad, I know. But why did I put this on the list if I'm trashing? Well, number one, I still like the Final Fantasy XIII games, the first two I should say. And then, there may be a day that Lightning Returns will be given a second chance in the palm of my hands. I want to see the ending badly and I refuse to hook up on YouTube to spoil the fun, so I will hopefully have that effort made soon. Before I give my number one game of an awful ending but otherwise a great game, I still want to give two of my honorable mentions that could have made it, if not for some of the other games I played. One is Mortal Kombat 4, or Mortal Kombat Gold, specifically Baraka and Reptile's ending. Please don't kill off the main character of their assigned ending. And the other game is Super Mario Sunshine. Nobody should grind hours to 100% completion for the complete ending just to be another thank you for playing photo. At least Super Mario 64 and the Galaxy games offered additional cutscenes for your completion, and they feel a lot more rewarding. This is lazy on Nintendo's end for an otherwise great Mario game. Here's number one. The point of the franchise is indeed the modern day storyline, at least during the Desmond Miles arcs and just very little bit of the recent RPG Assassin's Creed entries. We all love the stories in the Animus too, as they are just there to help build a story during the modern setting. The Desmond Miles arc is known for this, so why did they have to ruin it with Assassin's Creed 3? Yes, it was supposed to finish it all for Desmond, but for the cost of Juno to control the world was full of consequences. The worst thing about it is that the big cliffhanger of an ending for this game was hardly tacked on in the later entries. Did they realize it was hated so much that they decided to retcon it? Maybe the cash grab business making for the franchise led to people to just not care anymore? Either way, it was the biggest disappointment that ruined the franchise to a degree. It's great to replay the old games of Altair, Ezio, and the Kenways, but at this point, it's only the Animus stories of the assassins themselves that made it all worth it at first. Those are my 5 games where endings did ruin a little, but they're definitely worth playing back still to this day. They're some of the best games out there. This video, once again, is not to discourage others from playing these titles. In fact, I think it's time I will go ahead and do my next playthrough for Halo 2 Anniversary, so I'll be back on my next video soon. Take care, my Aruna Knights.